Hi you guys, welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker and welcome to show and tell number 225. So I am back to filming on Tuesday, which is fantastic because it gives me 2 days to fix any mistakes I make. Eventually I'm going to have to learn how to edit so I can cut out the just weird things that come out of my mouth. As I filmed on Thursday last week, we have 2 days shorter. Filming on Tuesday this week, we have less to talk about, which is good. I hurt my back and I got sunburned over the weekend because I'm good. I am just that good. I had put on sunscreen before I went out. I laid out to read for half an hour, swam for half an hour, and just was drying off. I just wanted to lay out long enough to dry off. And next thing I know, I'm burned from the ribcage down on the back. So interesting, to say the very least. But the back's not so bad. It's the legs. And it's the different sunscreen I use. So I used the spray sunscreen from mid-back down on the back and on my legs versus the very emollient lotion sunscreen on my face, chest, arms, and stomach area. So yeah, just remember, reapply constantly if you're using the spray-on sunscreen. I don't have a whole lot in my basket to talk about, but I have a lot in my basket to talk about at the same time. So my basket, we have 4 pairs of socks and a sweater to talk about. But we have 2 tangents. Plan tangents? Maybe that works. So we're going to start with socks here. So, you know, if you've been with me the last couple months here, we have the 2 pair of what I keep calling my UFO socks. So these are part of Project UFO. I apparently started these in spring 2021. I knew I had started these when I was meeting Erica for lunch, but when I moved everything out of the project bag these were in, I actually found our receipt from Mary O'Neill's in downtown Waxhaw where we had lunch together. Erica, the lopsided crafter, I'll leave her tag down below. But yeah, so 3 years. I've not finished these socks. And I've struggled to understand why I was struggling. And I think I have it figured out after much speculation and testing. But as you can tell, the only thing I don't know that you can quite tell. All I have left to do is Kitchener my toes shut. It's taken me 3 days. Troy's been home and I need to think about Kitchener stitch. So I had to wait for him to go back to work. So it'll probably be Thursday before I get these done because it's already going for 1:30 today on Tuesday, and I have the plumber coming finally to fix my sink in the bathroom over here. So it will probably be either late tomorrow afternoon or Thursday afternoon, morning when I finally get these done. But here we are. So I thought at first maybe it was because both of these were done knitting from the inside and the outside of a ball of yarn. And I have done a couple more things with that. That's not the case. I thought maybe it was magic loop or 2 at a time. No, I have no problem doing magic loop or 2 at a time. So the only thing I can conclude, and I have evidence for this is the project bag they were in. Both pairs were in here because I had the heel toe cuff color, and then I also had the yarn for this and the yarn for this. So I had 3 balls of yarn in here. And the only thing I can think is the project bag is the problem. And this is going to be the most ADD, ADHD type thing ever. This seems like it'd be brilliant. I mean, it opens really wide. It's sturdy. I can see what's in it. You would think this would be perfect. Now, I know from this last month of working on these. So when I first started working on these in May, I had them in here. I was taking this with both sock projects in the car. And I was getting frustrated working on it. So I ended up splitting them up into 2 of these T-Dottle mini maker bags. I will leave T-Dottle's tag down below. Christy Hudson. She's got a YouTube channel, T-Dottles. And she's got her Etsy store where she sells her bags, T-Dottles. I will leave both tagged down below. But I use these because I've got 9 million of them because I used to get her monthly bags and they're great. So I moved them out from here into 2 maker bags. For whatever reason, as soon as I did that, in 1 week when I picked these up, I went from here to the toe. And this is only like 3-4 rows underneath where I did the heel. And on this one, the first week while I was working on my Halloween socks, I went from here to here on it. And then last week, I went from here to the toe. So clearly, magic loop, inside outside of the ball, multiple colors, pink stripes, none of those were the issues. The issue had to have been the bag. Now, I know working on these in the car, I kept getting like my yarn hung here and on this flap, but I was also getting it hung under the zipper pull thing here and hung on the teeth. So I'm going to keep this for probably like 3 months, see if I want to put like skincare in here. You know, if I'm traveling or something, or maybe I can just put like all my sunscreens in here and that way I can put it on in the bathroom and then take it out to the pool with me. But I'm not going to use this as a project bag ever again. Clearly, this is not a good project bag, which is such a shame because it's got like an actual like metal frame to it and everything. And it's so well constructed. I thought this would be perfect, but this is why it took 3 years to finish 2 pairs of socks, apparently. So anyway, that tangent number 1, sometimes the problem isn't your project. Sometimes it's your project bag. Now, I have lots of project bags with zippers that I love, like my bags from Awesome Granny. I've got a couple of the T-Dottle bags, I believe, have zippers, the larger ones. I've got one. I bought it secondhand from somebody. They were destashing bags. Once again, I mean, I have no problem working with zippered bags normally. That one was problematic. So anyway, I got everything down to the toes. I just need to Kitchener my toes shut. So I'll share these again next week because they will be done. These are also my first 2 that will be ready for summer sock camp. And by the way, like yesterday when I checked, there's over like 250 finished socks already in the sock camp FO thread. I'm like, some of these are gorgeous. But anyway, Project UFO, 2 things, almost done. I still haven't picked up the Escherite cowl because once again, I need to think about what I'm doing because I either need to frog 2 rows and then tink back, or I need to frog the whole thing. So I've got to be able to think about what I'm doing when I'm working on that, and I just haven't had time. I need like 3 hours where I know I'm not going to be interrupted to figure out what to do. So anyway, or do what needs to be done. So anyway, there's that. But I pulled 3 projects for Project UFO this month. 2 are done. 1 is not. And I only gave myself 2 weeks because we were already halfway through the month before I got around to doing anything because of the king size blanket. So technically that would be like 4 out of the last 5 projects I'd completed. Because it was the baby blanket, the king size blanket, the 2 pairs of socks, and the Escherite. So it'll be the 2 blankets, the 2 pairs of socks get done. Live long and prosper. Yeah. So, in discovering these are great in the T-Dottles bags, that I can work these just fine out of the tea dowels bags. I have been taking my socks in the car. So I shared with you guys last week my video clip where I had set aside yarns to work on for summer sock camp. I pre-cast on 2 sets of toes, so I'm sort of kind of working on those socks right now. Very thirsty, as usual, as per usual. So the first pair I've been working on, these obviously have gotten the most love, but these are just plain vanilla socks, toe up. I used a Turkish cast on, toe up vanillas. I had started with the 10 row a day thing, but I'll be honest, Friday and Saturday I got 20 rows each day, and that's because we spent so much time in the car. And one of the advantages to Christy's bags, she uses this beautiful twill tape in here. So they're very easy to draw close. It's a very smooth twill tape, but there's just enough drag with a 100-gram ball in here that you can use it as a wrister. And I actually normally put it on my left-hand wrist, but I can sit here and walk around and knit with my project, and my yarn is never impeded in the bag. So I know a lot of people have gotten really into the wrister spindles. I did order one. We will test it out and see what I think of it. But I really like this. And for something where this is a self-striping yarn and I wanted to keep my stripes matching, I have 2 cakes. I pulled off 30 grams in the small one, 70 grams for the big one. And that was just because I wanted the colors to line up. But we will see how the wrister works. So I am at 17 out of 19 centimeters for the Cascade Heritage yarn, 80s colorway socks. At 19 centimeters, I'll turn the heel. I'm planning on doing a black shadow wrap heel. In my bag, which you probably heard tinking around, I do have a little tin here with a pair of scissors and just some light bulb markers. I have another one of these in the box with the just sock yarns. I will leave a link in Amazon to the scissors, the tins, and some light bulb markers. Once again, it doesn't cost you anything, but I do get a couple of pennies back if you shop through my Amazon links. They're affiliate links. But yeah, got a lot of work done on these. Vanilla socks makes it super duper easy. So those actually, probably tomorrow morning if I get up early, I'll work on those. And I might work on them a little tonight, but probably not. I have something else that will probably consume my entertainment for the evening. But that is really mindless. It's nice to have on hand. Once again, socks are so portable. It's so easy to do anywhere. But when I get the wrister, I caked up, I had 2 hanks of Yarnable in the colorway Raven, and I caked them both up when I did my socks. I want to do a hat and scarf combo with that. That's always been my goal. That's why I got a second skein of it. So I'm not sure if I want to do a sock head cowl and beanie, do like the Musselburgh hat, and then do like a shawl scarf to match, or just find another cowl, simple cowl pattern, maybe a triangle cowl. I haven't made those decisions yet. Something like the sock head, I already know the pattern by heart, so it's like really easy to just crank it out. But maybe it's time to try the next popular pattern. So anyway, I've made that decision, but that'll be what we test out. We'll start out the little wrister spindle thing and see what I think about that. I know I'm not going to hang it off the rear view mirror in the car. That's just not going to happen. But as I do walk and knit when I'm out shopping, like just following Troy, that could very well be an option. If not, I'll pop it off and just use my tea dowels bags. So the next pair of socks I'm working on are the Hermione Everyday Socks. Now, unfortunately, there's not enough of the pattern stitch done for you to really see the texture very well. You can tell there's a texture, but you can't really tell what it is. The yarn's just busy enough. It's kind of hard to see in person or on camera. Once I have a little bit more length in person, it'll be more obvious. But I will leave a link for the Hermione Everyday Socks down in the description box down below. All these years sock knitting, I have never made these before. They've been on my to-do list. They're literally mindless socks. I think at first, I can't remember why at first I didn't make them. Let's be honest. But I've made other Harry Potter themed socks. I've done the Boy Who Lived socks, which have an eyelet lightning bolt in the cuff. I've also made the Firenze socks. I made those like 10 years ago. So it's been a while since I've done anything vaguely Harry Potter themed. But this is the Lion brand sockies in the colorway Cotton Candy. I don't have a tag. 99.9% sure it's Cotton Candy. So very different texture. This yarn is stickier. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say rustic or itchy. It's neither one of those things, but it's a stickier wool that's in these versus the Cascade. The Cascade, I think, yeah, this one is Merino. 75% Merino wool. This is just another colorway of the same. The Lion brand is just 100% wool. So this is stickier, a little woollier feeling, whereas the Cascade's very smooth. But progress. My yarn cake is in here. I'm working from both sides of the cake. No issues. So anyway, my sockies are coming along. I think these are at like 4 centimeters, 7 centimeters maybe. Wow, 7 centimeters. I have to get them all the way up here before they get a heel. But anyway, they're very, very cute. You can see the way the yarn is working up in these. These are not matching. Obviously, they didn't really need to match. They have a very irregular... I heard a cat creeping in on us. Anyhoo. So that is all my sock updates. I've worked on 4 pairs of socks this week, which I'm rather proud of. That's a little weird, but also very proud of myself. I have enough sock yarn to make probably a pair of socks for everybody in the state of South Carolina and half of Georgia. So, notes. Didn't like the sock bag. UFO stocks were started 3 years ago. So I actually covered my notes. The last project in here. I am quite pleased with her. She is coming along beautifully. The fit is magnifique. So this is my fresh berries tea. And this is what I worked on most of yesterday. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the picture that I took yesterday morning. But we are now to 10 inches under the arm. At 12.5 inches, I will start the bottom band. But I have, like I said last week, taken a break to complete my sleeve. So last night I finished this sleeve and picked up for this sleeve. So by the end of the night tonight, I will be able to properly try this on with no question as to how the upper body fits. And I'll have a slightly more accurate gauge of how far I'm going down. I need to increase out back for the hip stitches. I did take out 17 stitches and it's still a very minor visual difference. It was 2.5 inches total that I took out of the waist area of this. However, when you lay it out, it's really not that obvious. I think once I get it off the cable, you can see where the cable holds the stitches way out. We get a different shape here. I I think once that's no longer in there and we're looking at, you know, the bound off edge, it'll be far more obvious where the shaping is. But this is the row I took out 5 stitches. I took out 5 stitches here, and I took out another 7 stitches here. And we did 2 rows in between the decrease rounds. So you can see where it's not particularly noticeable. But when I put it on, you can tell the fit difference. It feels like the sweater fits uniform across my body. It's got a lot of positive ease in it, so I wanted to maintain positive ease but not have it square me off real bad. I'm very broad, so when things stay boxy shaped on me, I tend to look even bigger. And being short and broad, what that ends up doing is I look like a mini refrigerator walking down the street. And that's not the look I'm going for. But I'm very happy with how this is fitting. This is the Friends Cotton Silk Print yarn from Hobbii. They sent the yarn to me. This is 77% cotton, 23% silk. The only complaint I have with this is it is a cotton silk blend, so my hands get a little dry. And it doesn't hide like imperfections as well, but that's not really a complaint. That's just the nature of the fiber. So is the drier hands. I keep a moisturizer, non-greasy moisturizer on hand anyway when I'm knitting and crocheting, so it's not a problem for me per se. But as far as how it's knitting beautifully. It hangs great and it feels wonderful on. So, I'm loving the yarn. Needless to say, I'm loving the yarn. I'm very excited about it. I cannot wait to wear this sweater. And I'd like to have it done by the end of the week because June 1st, I would like to cast on my Southern Comfort Fiber Market fade sweater. And I've got everything caked. I have the order set out. I need to read the pattern carefully and highlight everything for my size. And I need to gauge it. So I have a lot to do to get it started. But I want to give myself the full 2 months to get it done before the Southern Comforts Fiber Market this August. Because I'd like to wear it at the fiber market. I know, hopes are way up here. Expectations are way up here. But I'm excited. I cannot wait to wear my fade sweater with all my yarns from the market. So we got socks. Make sure everything's back in my basket. So I think I have a video for tonight, which would be Tuesday as a filming. And I think we'll have a video on Saturday. And then sometime next week, we should have the Yarnable and ALC unboxings. We also will have probably on Tuesday a video of the winners of the Spook Your Spring Make Along. Just a reminder, today is the last day to enter the Spook Your Spring Make Along, I believe. Because I believe that today is the last day of May. So I will do the drawing for winners on the 1st. Anyway, I love you guys. Stay tuned for the pet tax, and I think I threw in some goofy pictures and stuff like that of me. So I love you. I will see you guys real soon. Bye, you guys.